Hi, my name is Chris Shoemaker, and this is my presentation on the curriculum improvement plan I created for EDS 708. Throughout this presentation, I'll be focusing on the 5 major components of this curriculum improvement plan. They are engagement, design, development, analysis, and evaluation. Engagement will touch specifically on the communication and collaboration that went on in creating this plan. The design of the curriculum improvement plan will take a look at the template that was used and specifically the plan as it applies to the school for this presentation. The development of the plan will take a look at who all was involved and what components of that took place in creating the plan. This includes data analysis as the 4th step. This part of the presentation will look at the specific data points that were used in creating this plan. And finally, the evaluation of the plan. How will it be evaluated? What all tools and assessment techniques will be used in evaluating this curriculum improvement plan? Let's get started. Under engagement, I have collaboration and conversation, 2 very important pieces of engagement for making up this plan. The collaboration piece started with teachers as they work together and communicate together and looking at test scores and student data and observations from their classrooms and what's going on, what's working, what's not working. The teachers had to collaborate regularly to come up with the information needed for this plan. Second, our curriculum committee. The teachers, through their grade level meetings, content area meetings, and PLCs, presented what they thought should be part of this plan to the curriculum committee. The curriculum committee analyzed the data, looked at what had been presented, and made their recommendations to the principal based on this information. The principal had final approval as to what was going to go into the plan. So these 3 pieces all made up the collaboration piece under engagement for this curriculum improvement plan. For conversation, this is simply the conversations that I had with others in making this plan. I had extensive conversation with the building principal, and he informed me of the steps I listed above regarding teachers, curriculum committee, and his final approval. So our conversation that involved myself and the principal went a long way in creating this improvement plan. Next, we have the design of the curriculum improvement plan. A curriculum improvement plan template was provided to me for use in this course in creating this curriculum improvement plan. It started with an overall goal, followed by need for the goal, specific objectives for the goal, and specific strategies for the goal. Now, under strategies, we had 3 sub-steps that made it up: action steps, person or persons involved, and timeline. The overall goal for my curriculum improvement plan was to increase reading achievement. The need. First, we have the need because we have a new comprehensive assessment coming up this year, the Alabama Comprehensive Assessment Program, or ACAP. We also had a need because of past data from the Scantron Performance Series. Specific objectives of my curriculum improvement plan, which I mentioned earlier, involve improving reading. In grades 3, 4, and 5, our specific objectives is to improve the percentage of students scoring proficient or advanced in reading. We want to increase on our number of 60%. Now, while this is not a true apples-to-apples comparison with the Scantron series, we hope that our ACAP assessment data will show that 60% or greater of students in grades 3, 4, and 5 will score proficient or advanced on the ACAP test. Now, the specific strategies involved. We have action steps, persons involved, and timeline. The action steps include continuing weekly meetings of our professional learning communities, especially in the area of reading. We also are going to take a look at our response to intervention teams and how that impacts our at-risk students and how we're looking at that. We're also going to look at special education and those specific subgroups and how our case managers are looking and working with student IEPs as part of this plan. We also have our positive behavior intervention and supports team, our PBIS team. Are the rewards working? What are the rewards? And what do we need to continue doing or do differently to help meet our goal of improving reading achievement? The timeline for this plan has changed. It started off by taking place during the 1920 school year as the ACAP assessment was supposed to roll out. But as you know, with the closure of schools, this adjusted our timeline. So we're going to roll over this curriculum improvement plan to the 2020-21 school year. Specifically, the timeline will take place between August of 2020 to May of 2021. Next, we have the development of the plan. The development of the plan started off with simply by teacher observation. What are the teachers seeing in the classroom? What are the kids doing? What are they showing them in small group instruction and direct instruction and even whole group instruction? So what are those teachers seeing in the classrooms? That was the first start in developing this plan. These teacher observations trickled into our PLC teams, our PLC meetings. Those conversations centered around, in a larger group setting, what's going on in the classroom. So this PLC feedback was a combination of teacher observations and PLC information in terms of creating this curriculum improvement plan. Those things were turned over to our curriculum committee. The curriculum committee took everything that had been provided, teacher observations and PLC feedback, and that was used in making their considerations in regarding recommending changes or modifications or accommodations to the curriculum as part of this plan. Those considerations were turned over to the building principal. He took those things and made his final decisions regarding the curriculum improvement plan. And fifth, and probably most importantly, data analysis. I'll get into those specific data points on the next slide, but a great deal of data was used in creating the specific wording, action steps, goals, that sort of thing, used in this curriculum improvement plan. 5 major data points were used in this curriculum improvement plan. We'll start with the Scantron Performance Series. The last administration of the Scantron Performance Series was in December of 2019, and that was kind of a jumping off point for creating this plan as we looked at the data and wanted to build on the 60% percentage of students scoring proficient or advanced. Next, we had the Alabama Comprehensive Assessment Program, or ACAP. And while we do not have data for this, as this was going to be a benchmark year for the ACAP, hopefully we'll be able to use the Scantron Performance Series scores to help set as a early benchmark goal for the ACAP testing. Our professional learning community teams created common formative assessments regularly throughout the year. We looked at this data as well in determining that percentage point to increase. Our gradebook data, summative assessments such as end of chapter test, end of unit test, was also used, in addition to common formative assessments and the Scantron scores. And finally, the last piece of data now that was analyzed for this curriculum improvement plan were the student grades that were recorded. What grades were students earning on progress reports and report cards? All of these things were the data points used in the analysis of this plan. Finally, we have the evaluation of the plan. 5 points were used in evaluating the data, evaluating the need, the goals, the objectives, all the specifics that I've mentioned earlier. Professional development is the first thing on this list. Teachers were to undergo, and already have some, extensive professional development on the Alabama Comprehensive Assessment Program. This ACAP training will help provide them with the tools and the education and knowledge necessary to prepare students to do the best they can on this new assessment. As always, our professional learning communities will continue to meet. They will continue to look at data on a weekly basis or even daily basis as needed. The input from PLCs is a major component in evaluating the success of this improvement plan and what changes need to be made or what things need to stay the same. So our PLC information will be relied on heavily going forward. Next, we have our response to intervention. What progress are our kids making? Are students coming off the at-risk list, or are students being added to? How is this impacting our special education referrals? Our RTI team data will definitely be taken into consideration when evaluating the effectiveness of this plan. As always, we want to reduce the number of students that are at risk. We want to reduce the number of special education referrals. And what recommendations is the team making to the teachers? How are they intervening to help decrease these numbers? Our special education numbers will also be used in evaluating the success of this plan. How are the caseloads looking? How are our new students identified? How is that number looking? Our case managers will be providing a great deal of information and evaluating this plan, such as how are they progressing, are they meeting their specific IEP goals, are the accommodations modifications in place to help them be successful. All of that and more will be looked at in evaluating this plan. And finally, the positive behavior interventions and supports. Are the rewards working? What are the rewards? Do we need to try things that are different? Do we need to try things that we haven't tried before? Or do we need to bring back things that we've tried in the past? All of these things will be talked about, looked at, examined when it comes to evaluating this curriculum improvement plan. Hopefully, with the increase in rewards for students and increasing of good behavior from our students, this will turn into an increase in student achievement. That's the goal with our PBIS team. It, along with special education, RTI, PLCs, and PD, will all make up the evaluation component for this curriculum improvement plan. This is just a snapshot of my curriculum improvement plan, specifically targeting reading achievement. I hope you're able to take something from it today and apply it to your own plan in your own schools as perhaps something that could work for something for you down the road. Thank you for your time and attention, and I look forward to learning from all of you as we finish this course and others as part of the EDS program. Thank you.